Most people do not fail financially because they are careless or irresponsible. They fail because they wait too long to notice the warning signs. By the time a person reaches the early 50s, life looks stable from the outside. Children are grown, career feels settled, bills are getting paid, everything appears normal. But quietly, something dangerous begins to happen, not in the bank account, not in the job title, but in the mind. And once that mental shift begins, money slowly starts slipping away. Not suddenly, not dramatically, silently. If this topic feels close to your life, stay with this video. Sometimes clarity arrives before problems do. At this stage of life, most people believe they have already figured things out. They feel experienced. They feel secure. They feel past the phase of major change. That belief is exactly where the problem begins, because wealth is not destroyed by one big mistake. It is destroyed by repeating comfortable decisions long after they stop working. This is the age where small financial choices start carrying permanent consequences, and temporary comfort quietly turns into lifelong regret. I have seen this happen many times. Someone reaches their early 50s believing they are safe. They have worked for decades. They have earned respect. They have built a routine that feels reliable. Then one quiet moment changes everything. Usually it happens late in the evening, checking a bank balance, thinking about retirement, or imagining life without a regular income. A simple question appears. If my income stops tomorrow, how long can I survive? That question does not bring panic. It brings a slow, heavy fear. Most people ask this question too late, not because they failed to earn, but because they never prepared for the second half of life. There is a truth most people avoid. Your earning years end faster than you expect. Your spending years last longer than you imagine. At this age, time starts behaving differently. It no longer feels unlimited, but many people continue living as if it is. In earlier years, discomfort feels normal, learning feels necessary, change feels possible. In the 50s, comfort feels earned, and growth starts feeling optional. This is where decline quietly begins. People stop learning new skills. They stop questioning old habits. They stop adjusting their lifestyle, not because they cannot change, but because they do not want to feel uncomfortable again. Many people start saying something that sounds harmless. I am too old to change now. That single sentence silently damages financial health. Because money does not care about age. It responds to adaptability. Markets change, jobs change, costs rise, but the person stays the same. And when life changes faster than you do, you fall behind. Another common belief appears at this stage. I deserve comfort now. And that belief is understandable. Years of hard work deserve ease, but comfort without control is dangerous. Expenses slowly grow. Lifestyle quietly expands. Obligations increase. Nothing feels wrong in the moment. But together, these choices create a trap. One of the biggest mistakes people make after 52 is confusing income stability with financial security. A steady income feels safe until it stops. Health issues appear unexpectedly. Companies change direction. Opportunities shrink. Suddenly, stability disappears. And without preparation, peace is replaced by anxiety. There is another mental shift no one talks about. At this age, people stop planning far ahead. Not intentionally, subconsciously. They begin thinking in shorter timelines. Let us enjoy now. We will manage later. Things will work out somehow. This thinking feels calm, but often it is denial disguised as peace. The mind whispers something dangerous. You have survived this long. You will be fine. But survival is not the same as security. Peace does not come from avoiding reality. It comes from preparing for it. Many people rely only on savings. They believe saving is enough. Over time, inflation proves otherwise. Money slowly loses strength. Expenses rise. Medical costs appear. Savings stop protecting, and that quiet fear returns. Aging is expensive in ways most people underestimate. Healthcare, support, unexpected emergencies. These costs do not arrive loudly. They arrive slowly, and without preparation, they drain everything. If you feel uncomfortable listening to this, that is not a bad sign. It means this message is touching something real in your life. This discomfort is not meant to frighten you. It is meant to wake you up. Because many people reach this stage and never ask these questions at all. They stay busy, they stay distracted, until reality forces the conversation. Here's something important you should know. If you are becoming aware of these risks now, you are already ahead of most people. Failure after 52 is not sudden, it is predictable. And anything predictable can be prepared for. So far, we have talked about comfort, stability, and hidden costs. But there is a deeper reason behind financial failure at this age. It has nothing to do with money itself. It has everything to do with identity, ego, and the fear of starting again. That is what we will talk about next. And once you understand it, you will never look at money the same way again. Pause here for a moment. Do not think about numbers. Think about habits. Because wealth is not lost at 52. It is lost through the decisions made long before and the changes avoided right now. There is a deeper reason people fail financially after 52. It has very little to do with income and almost nothing to do with intelligence. It has everything to do with identity. By this stage of life, most people are no longer protecting their money. They are protecting their self-image. They have spent decades building a picture of who they are: responsible, experienced, wise, settled, and anything that threatens this image feels dangerous, especially change. I have seen people ignore clear warning signs simply because accepting them would mean admitting something painful, that their old way of thinking no longer works. At this age, ego becomes quiet but powerful. It does not shout, it whispers. It says things like, "I know what I'm doing. I've been through worse. I don't need advice now." And slowly, learning stops. This is where many people make a mistake they do not realize until it is too late. They stop listening. They stop questioning their decisions. They stop updating their beliefs. They stop seeking guidance, not because they are arrogant, but because learning again feels like starting over. And starting over feels humiliating. There is a hidden fear most people never admit, the fear of looking inexperienced again. In earlier years, being a beginner feels acceptable. In your 50s, it feels uncomfortable. So people avoid new financial ideas. They avoid new tools. They avoid new ways of thinking. They tell themselves they are being cautious, but often they are just being afraid. If this message is making you pause, take a moment and stay with it. This awareness can save you years of regret later. Another reason people fail financially after 52 is attachment to past success. What worked before feels safe. What worked before feels familiar. What worked before feels trustworthy. But the world does not reward loyalty to the past. It rewards adjustment. Many people continue managing money the same way they did 20 years ago. Same habits, same assumptions, same comfort zones. They do not realize the rules have changed. Costs are higher, time is shorter, margins are thinner, yet decisions remain outdated. This creates a dangerous gap between reality and belief, and that gap slowly drains wealth. There is also a social pressure that appears strongly at this age. Responsibility. Family expectations grow. Children need support. Relatives ask for help. Social obligations increase. Saying no becomes harder. And many people start using money emotionally, not to grow, but to keep peace. They help others while ignoring their own future. They give generously, but plan poorly. This feels noble. But generosity without boundaries can quietly destroy financial stability. Another silent trap is lifestyle pride. By this age, people feel they have earned a certain standard of living. Downsizing feels like failure. Reducing expenses feels like going backward, so they maintain a lifestyle even when it no longer makes sense. They tell themselves they will adjust later. Later rarely comes because adjusting becomes harder with time. There is also a mental shift that happens quietly. Hope replaces planning. People stop calculating and start assuming. They assume things will work out. They assume nothing major will go wrong. They assume time will somehow stretch. Hope is powerful. But hope without structure is dangerous. It creates comfort without protection. If you recognize yourself in any of this, understand something important. This does not mean you have failed. It means you are human. Most people experience these shifts. Very few become aware of them. And awareness is the turning point. Here is something most people never hear. The problem is not that life becomes harder after 52. The problem is that denial becomes easier. And denial feels peaceful until reality interrupts it. This is why financial failure at this age feels sudden, but it is never sudden. It is slow, predictable, built quietly over years. There is still something important left to talk about, the belief that it is too late. That belief stops people from taking the one action that could change everything. In the next part, we will talk about that belief, why it is wrong, and what actually matters at this stage of life. Because while time is limited, it is not useless. And while mistakes exist, they are not final. What matters now is direction. Pause here for a moment. Ask yourself one honest question. Am I protecting my future or am I protecting my comfort? The answer to that question changes everything. There is one belief that quietly destroys people after 52. It is not about money, it is about time. The belief sounds simple. It is too late now. This thought appears silently. It does not arrive as fear. It arrives as acceptance. People tell themselves they should have started earlier. They should have known better. They missed their chance, so they stopped trying. But this belief is wrong, not because time is unlimited, but because direction still matters. At this stage of life, progress does not come from doing everything. It comes from doing the right few things consistently. Most people fail financially not because they cannot change, but because they believe change no longer matters. That belief keeps them stuck. I have seen people completely turn their financial life around after this age, not by chasing risky opportunities, not by trying to become someone else, but by simplifying, by protecting what matters, by making calm, intentional decisions. This is where thoughtful planning matters more than quick action. At this stage, the goal is no longer fast growth. The goal is stability, control, and peace. One of the most powerful shifts happens when a person stops asking, "How much more can I earn?" and starts asking, "How can I protect what I already have?" This change alone saves people from unnecessary risk. Another important shift is accepting reality without judgment. Many people waste years being angry at themselves. They regret past decisions. They replay mistakes. Regret feels honest, but it is unproductive. The past cannot be fixed, but the future can still be shaped. Peace comes when a person stops fighting time and starts working with it. There is also something freeing that happens at this age. You no longer need to impress. You no longer need to compete. You no longer need to prove anything. That freedom allows clearer thinking. When ego steps aside, better decisions appear. This is why some of the best financial choices are made later in life. They are not driven by excitement. They are driven by understanding. At this stage, simplicity wins. Fewer expenses, clear priorities, strong boundaries. People who succeed financially after 52 do a few things differently. They stop ignoring uncomfortable truths. They face numbers honestly. They plan for health, not just income. They prepare for support, not just lifestyle. Most importantly, they stay mentally flexible. They keep learning, not aggressively, but humbly. They accept that the world changes, and they change with it. If you have stayed with this video until now, pause for a moment. That itself says something about you. It means you are not avoiding reality, you are facing it. That alone puts you ahead of most people. If this message is helping you see things more clearly, take a moment to stay connected to this channel, not for motivation, but for steady, thoughtful guidance. One of the most damaging myths is that financial peace is about having more. It is not. It is about needing less, managing better, and preparing calmly. There is no dramatic ending to financial failure, and there is no dramatic beginning to financial stability. Both are built quietly, day by day, choice by choice. At 52 and beyond, the goal is not to catch up. The goal is to align. Align your spending with reality. Align your expectations with time. Align your decisions with peace. That alignment creates something more valuable than wealth. It creates confidence. Confidence that you are not avoiding the future. Confidence that you are prepared for it. If there is one thought to carry forward, let it be this. It is not too late to protect your future, but it is dangerous to delay clarity. The earlier you face the truth, the calmer the road ahead becomes. Wealth is not about how much you have. It is about how little fear you carry. And fear disappears when preparation begins. Take this moment seriously, reflect honestly, adjust gently. And remember, the second half of life is not about speed. It is about direction. If you found value in this message, stay connected. Principles of Wealth is built over time, and peace is built the same way. At this stage of life, clarity matters more than speed, and informed decisions matter more than noise. If you are here, it means you are taking your financial future seriously. You are willing to pause, review your situation, and think carefully about what comes next. That alone is a strong first step. Financial stability is not built through shortcuts or excitement. It is built through understanding your options, managing risk, and making consistent decisions over time. This channel exists to share financial advice and long-term principles that help you think more clearly about money. Not hype, not pressure, and not unrealistic promises. Markets change, life changes, and financial needs change with time. What matters is preparation. Not everything in life can be controlled, but how you plan and respond can be. If the ideas shared here are helpful, Stay connected to principles of wealth. This channel is designed to support thoughtful decision-making as you move through different stages of life. Because real financial security is not built in panic. It is built calmly, deliberately, and with a clear understanding of your priorities. Thank you for watching, and we'll continue the conversation in the next video.